the give them the axe right in the neck, and both schools do the same chant. But if you're Stanford, you don't see somebody and yell, "Go Trees!"
Sure,
right? There's only a couple schools that you have that rallying cry. USC has it. Yeah. USC fans will yell "Fight on" to each other. Miami fans are notorious for putting up the U with their two thumbs together. Utah fans try to do it, but it's not the same. Texas can say "Hook 'em horns." Texas A&M will give you a thumb up and say "Gig 'em Aggies."
Yeah.
And then you have Arizona that can yell "Bear down." I think Oregon's slogan is "Win the day." I don't think I see someone with another Oregon T-shirt yelling "Win the day."
Oregon's slogan is "Buy another jersey."
And make Phil Knight even richer.
Right.
Exactly. Number for you to join us, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Tomorrow we'll be on the air with you at noon, counting down to our ball game against Utah. It comes up at 4:30. Is that Paul in Phoenix on line one? So I should drop everything I'm doing to talk to him? All right, Paul in Phoenix. Bear down.
Rich, bear down. Wow. Rich, and in Jared Goff's brain, do you think daylight savings time is weird for him because the sun rises in the west or wherever it rises for him?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be...
Let's not get into that. You know what, Rich? The only thing daylight savings time means to me is that early in the season, NFL football starts at 10 in the morning for us native Arizonans, okay? I dislike it when we do the old fall backward thing, and then all the games start at 11 o'clock in the morning. That extra hour I have to wait in the morning for NFL games to start bothers me. Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you this. It's harder to go to church and be a football fan on the West Coast. On the East Coast, games don't start till 1 o'clock. It's easy to get up, go to 10 o'clock Mass, go get something to eat, and then settle in to watch football. Here, you actually, and I don't like going to 7 o'clock Mass. I don't like to go to the hootenanny Mass with the modern music, so I have a hard time going to church during football season.
I agree. I remember my parents, when they drag us to church, like, can we go to church? I can't believe I was a kid. I'd say, can we go earlier? But it was like, we're going at 9 o'clock. Like, by the time we are done talking and getting donuts and all that nonsense, the game's halfway over.
Like when we go, if I don't pay attention, like, we'll go whenever. One of them is masked. One of them is modern music, and I just sit there and I get grumpy, and my wife goes, "We're at church. You're supposed to be being a bitter person. Stop acting like a jerk."
But like they say, when you sing, you pray twice. So just do some more singing. How about that?
So one time we were in church, and I hadn't been for a while, and the priest listened to the radio show that I used to do, which was a lot different than this one. And he goes, "Oh, look, Rich Herrera's here today." And he said this in the middle of his sermon because I caught his eye. He goes, "Oh, look, Rich Herrera's over here." I said, "He goes, folks, do me a favor. Those of you on this pew right here in the middle, I want you to move just a little bit. Move, give him some room, so when he gets struck down by lightning, you don't get any meat shrapnel on you." I still talk to him. He's awesome. All right, anyway, enough about me and.
But let me just tell you real quick though, my quick relation to Bear Down, but not so much Bear Down. But my grandfather, God love him, God rest his soul. He died 40 years ago. Okay, he was a diehard, and that's where I got my my desire and my insane thing of listening to the radio at the games. I listen to the games on the radio all the time. I listen to games at home all the time, U of A games at home. I'm constantly, and it drives my family crazy because when I listen to the games on the radio at home, most of the times I'm 7 to 20 seconds ahead.
Oh.
And they'll look at me and they'll tell me, say, what happened? Well, my God love my grandfather. He listened to the games back, and I'm assuming there was radio back in the 50s, 60s. He listened to U of A games, blah blah blah. Well, as a kid in the late 60s, early 70s, my grandfather always had a dog, and this dog was always behind closed doors, and he never let him out. I mean, we just didn't get to play with this dog. This dog was, and this is not a joke, but this dog he was not a very friendly dog. He didn't bite people. He just was very rambunctious and he wanted to run away all the time. Anyway, come to find out, and it wasn't until I was an adult that I put it together, my grandfather, that dog's name was Buttons. And
no.
It's just like, I'm serious. And I think back, and he never got a chance when he was alive to explain the story, why Buttons. But, of course, I put it together later. I said, of course my grandfather named him Buttons because he was my grandfather would be out, raising, cleaning the stalls of the chicken coops and whatnot, listening to U of A sports all the time. And that was a great memory for me. So I keep that tradition going. I keep it going.
That is a great story.
So now, are you ready?
No, I'm not
Are you
done.
ready?
Wait a minute. I'm still talking about your grandfather. Stop it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a great story. So I'll listen to the radio. So I have a little transistor radio that I listen to. So I'm in the press box in case Brian and Lamont point something out that I should point out in the postgame show. Basically, I'm just stealing their material and passing it off as my own. Insightful thoughts in the postgame show. And both of them know that, so I think that's okay. But I'll sit there, or I don't travel because we do the pregame shows from Casino del Sol for away games, so I don't travel. So after we get done doing the pregame show, and J.W. Madden doesn't want to see me here all stinking day, he sees me enough during the week, I'll go watch the game in a sports bar or a restaurant. I'll go to Bob Dobbs. I'll go do something like that.
Yeah.
And I'll have my radio in, and I'm 45 seconds ahead by the time you get to DirecTV, or not DirecTV, but you get to cable and streaming and all the rest.
Yep.
I'm usually pretty far ahead, and sometimes I'll look at the bartender or the waitress or the table next to me and go, you know what? I think Jed needs to call a big pass and maybe throw it downfield at T-Mac. I think you know what? I think it's time to go for a T-Mac down the left-hand side and just heave it up there and see if you can get it. And they kind of look at me like, okay, whatever, dude. He throws Delora throws the ball, T-Mac catches, one-handed Spider-Man catch. And I'm like, see, I told you I could do this. And they're looking at me like, well, and I'll do it through the whole game. Like, I'll go, oh, man, they better be careful. I think we're going to get sacked right here. Boom, sack comes. They're like, oh, man. They're like, oh, I think we're going to have a fumble right here. Oh, man. And I did it one game for an entire half before the woman next to me figured out that I was listening to the radio, and then she got mad at me.
So she never saw Back to the Future then?
No, she never saw Back to the Future. All right. So what interesting...
But you know what? I'm so anal. I take two radios to the game.
Just in case?
One drops or I need a battery or whatever. So I'm that's how weird I am. And I do remember...
What size batteries? What size batteries?
AAA.
AAA. See, now here... Okay, nobody cares about this, but I'm going to tell the story anyway. When I was little... My grandfather on my mom's side, he was the Filipino cowboy.
Okay.
So my grandfather came from the Philippines. He went up and he worked in the fish camps like Deadliest Catch, and then he decided he wanted to be a cowboy. So he came back down to the central part of California, central coast of California, and became a cowboy. So he worked on it. He was a ranch hand his whole life. So he'd get up early in the morning, go work. Before the sun came up, he'd come back, he'd breakfast at the ranch house, he'd go back out. And they had dinner early, and then he went to bed early because he was up at before the crack of dawn. So when they would listen to the San Francisco Giants games on the radio, so they would go to bed right around the first pitch. They go to bed around 7:00 because they were ranchers. Yeah. And if we were over at our grandparents' house, they went to bed. Everybody else was staying up watching the game on TV. If you were really good, you could go lay down with Nani and Papa, but you had to be quiet during the game. You can make all the noise you want during the commercial breaks, but while the play-by-play was going on, you had to sit still. You had to be quiet. You couldn't be moving around. You couldn't be kicking because if you did, you got kicked out. And then later, when I got to do the Giants post-game show and I got to introduce my grandmother to all those announcers we would listen to when I was a little kid, she just thought it was the coolest thing in the whole wide world.
Well, it really is. You think about all the years that you've listened to it, I've listened to it, and now we're they're bouncing signals off of satellites. And I just remember probably 25 years ago calling the radio station and telling them, guys, get rid of the delay. And because it's so behind, I couldn't. I'm watching the game, and then it would finally happen on the radio. And they, but Paul, we're bouncing the signal off of North Carolina and back again and blah, blah, blah. So there is still a slight delay.
Right.
I know that Brian Jeffrey said at one point in time there was an FM transmitter or an AM transmitter in the stadium that used to work, but does not work anymore. But he said there used to be one. And I know when I go to the Arizona Cardinals games, I listen to the radio, they do have their separate transmitter inside that concrate
Well, you know what that's for, don't
stadium.
you?
Well, it's for me.
No. Actually, it's by law. It's ADA compliant.
Oh, okay.
So when I did the Padre games and I ran the Padres radio network, we were on an FM digital signal, and that had a 30-second delay built in, so we were always behind. So I had to come up with special radios that got that ADA, American Disability Act, functioning radios to give to people so they can listen in real time.
Interesting.
All
Wow.
right, we've talked about everything other than football, so go.
Okay, here we go. This is, you ready for this? This is the POP, the Paula Phoenix Homer Pick of the Week. And I told you I was going to give it to you, okay?
I'm waiting.
And Arizona 34, Utah 30. It's a Jaden DeLora near the very end of the game. It's a touchdown pass. I don't see who it's going to yet. I don't think it's T-Mac. I have a weird feeling it's our tight end, and it's.
That just popped into my head. McLaughlin.
Wouldn't it be fitting to hit a tight end, because they've beaten us to death, and other teams have beaten us to death with their tight ends. It's our turn, and why not? Why not be the pop Homer Pick of the Week? That's it right there. Boom, 34-30.
Paul, does your crystal ball see a one-handed catch in the end zone? Because that's kind of par for the course this year.
No, you know what? That McLaughlin. It's a two-hander. It's clean. It's powerful. All I just know is it's going to be one of those where we're going to bring it home. We're due, guys. We're that close. We're that close, and why not? Why not? We are due. Let's do it. And this week I don't even see any pick sixes or any fumbles. It's really weird. I don't know. We got to find something. We got to find something. But maybe we just play it straight up and just have a good game. And we beat each other up for the first three quarters, back and forth, killing time. It's 34-30 is not that high a score in a game when you think about it. But I think there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way. Gentlemen, as always, bear down. Thanks for the interview. That was wonderful. I may actually just wait and listen to it again if you're going to repeat it later today.
I think we will, because I've got more people. I missed it. Play it again, so we will. All right, Paul, get out of here. Love you, brother.
Take care. Bear down.
All right,
Bye.
bear down.
Bye.
All right, we'll continue with you. Did I just blow up the clock?
We can do whatever we want, Rich.
I like it. We're rebels today on a Friday. We'll continue with you. It's Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for two. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
Fourth down, and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step the handoff into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Mathurin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellis, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Oh, did they need that? My goodness. Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the field. ASU with the ball, down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like what, driving down that was from midcourt. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Mathurin with the ball for the Wildcats. Mathurin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko, feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline, circles back out top to Mathurin. 10 to shoot, 16 left in the ballgame. Mathurin, 3 balls straight away, good!
That's
We're
a
tied.
Huge shot for Ben Mathurin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Mathurin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center. Wiley, the running back. Receiver either side. 2 tight ends. Oregon, 5-man front. They shift. Play fake, rolling right. McLeod looking to throw. Going deep, down, trying to find Berrios. Makes the catch inside the 25-yard line. Still loose inside the 15. First down, Arizona.
What a play by McLeod. He was smacked, but he had the presence of mind to know where Berryhill was. He threw the ball. He underthrew the ball, and Berryhill was looking back at it and made a great play on the ball. An amazing play by Jordan McLeod.
Brown will take the snap a yard deep in the end zone. Straight back to throw. Has some time. Steps out of the pocket. The Wildcats have got him for a safety. Second safety, Arizona.
I don't know if you realize this. We've solved a lot of Tucson's problems today. Like, now we know why we have daylight savings. Now
I think
we
daylight
know,
savings is everybody else's problem except Tucson.
And now we know that Paul and Phoenix's grandfather named his dog after Button Salmon.
I have a daylight savings dog story for you, Rich.
Okay.
So today is my dog Maxwell's 11th birthday, and he has...
What kind of dog is Maxwell?
He's a long-haired Dachshund.
Okay. Oh, that's a pretty dog.
We have 2 long-haired Dachshunds, and they're both about 10. He's about 6 months older than his brother.
Okay.
But Maxwell
Are they brothers?
No, they're not from the same litter.
Okay.
So Maxwell has the great... Now, mind you, I worked at restaurants and bars a lot of my career. Maxwell has the greatest internal clock of any entity I've ever been around. So he knows exactly when 4:59 is every day.
What happens at 4:59?
Well, that's when he gets fed.
Oh.
So he knows exactly what time of day it is, and it doesn't matter where the sun is in the sky. It could be December, it could be June, it doesn't matter. And that's the interesting thing about living in Tucson is that he doesn't base it upon light, because you would think that would be a way to do it. But somehow, some way, Maxwell knows exactly when 5 p.m. is every single day of the year, and we don't change time here.
And what does he do?
He just comes and sits and says, hey, it's 5.
Does he come and look at you?
You know, we have a whole thing about like not feeding dogs from your own plate, so they don't beg food.
Right.
But he just make eye contact. He'll put himself in a position in the room so that you can see him.
So you have to see him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always great about getting them fed at 5. It's just funny because at 4:59, it's really like a minute or two before we're about to get his food ready. He always knows that it's 5 p.m.
Does he beg for treats?
He did. He had, ABS? He had a back issue,
Okay.
which a lot of Dachshunds have, like 3 years ago.
Because they're so long.
Yeah, he was immobile. He couldn't walk, and that was for like 6 months. So we carried him outside to do potties and stuff like that. But at that time, we did a 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and an 8 p.m. treats. We gave him peanut butter because he had some muscle, some stuff to help him with his pain.
Right.
And so he got in this habit of 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. every day.
He knew
same
it was
as
treat
the 5
time.
p.m. thing. It was right on the dot. He would come in, and again, he doesn't beg. He just puts himself in a position where he hasn't been all day, and he just makes eye contact and says, hey, by the way, it's 8 p.m. in case you didn't know.
That is hilarious. That is awesome.
Yeah, happy birthday, Maxwell.
Happy birthday, Maxwell. So we have 2. I'm bad. I don't know my dog's birthdays.
I don't either, but Paige knows, and so therefore I know.
Okay. I should yell at my wife because she doesn't know. I just have the 2 that I inherited from my parents. One is the sweetest, cutest little bag of cuteness ever, and the other is just a pain in the butt. That somehow, some way, whenever she jumps up on the couch with me, she always managed to land her paw in that one spot.
Yeah. That's a skill.
She must practice jumping right there and maybe,
So is your takeaway that she doesn't like you, or
no? She's just this big goofball, and no matter what, if I'm laying in bed and she wants to jump up on the bed, catches me right there.
Yeah.
I'm watching TV, catches me right there. I'm sitting in the backyard, catches me right there. It's like she might do it on purpose.
I always had medium to large dogs. We had shepherds, purebred shepherds, when I was at my dad's house growing up. And these dogs here are the first. They're not, I wouldn't say they're minis, because I've been around Pomeranians and around
These are the
Chihuahuas
first little dogs I've ever had.
Yeah. But these guys are about 20, 25 pounds. But they are, they're the biggest small dogs I've ever been around. And Chihuahuas have a big voice. But these dogs have huge personalities.
Oh. Now, these dogs are goofballs, and they like cheese.
Cheese, huh?
Cheese. If I go to the refrigerator, the one dog will stand there and look at me and keep looking at me, and then she'll nudge me until she gets a piece of cheese. They're spoiled, rotten brats just like me. Hey, today's program is brought to you by PGA Tour Superstore. PGA Tour Superstore has everything you need to play golf. If you're an advanced golfer, you're going to go, you know what? I've had these sticks. I like them. They're pretty good. But technology. I need more technology in my game. That's great. Let's say you're not sure. I played Callaway my whole life. Maybe I want to try some pings. Maybe I want to try something else. Well, guess what? At PGA Tour Superstore, you can go in there and try the clubs before you buy them. And if you really want to find the best clubs that you could possibly get that are going to be custom fit for your game, their club fitters will help you pick out just the right clubs, make all the adjustments that you need right there at PGA Tour Superstore. It's like you're on tour. And you got the guys in the truck right there fitting you for your clubs. All right there at PGA Tour Superstore. Let's say, you know what? I've had this one driver for about 10 years, and I like it, but I think there's something bigger, better for me out there. I need a new one. Great. Go try them out at PGA Tour Superstore before you buy them. It'd be foolish. I'm not going to go buy a car without test driving it. I'm certainly not going to buy a new driver without trying it out first. You can do all of that at PGA Tour Superstore, and they'll find you just the right driver for your game. They're located at Oracle and Limberlost. If you go in there, here's the Rich Herrera hookup. Mention Wildcats Radio 1290. They'll take $20 off a purchase of $100 and $50 off a purchase of $250 or more. There are restrictions apply, but again, anything you need for the game of golf, it's all located right there. A PGA Tour Superstore, they're the proud sponsor of our radio show. Jesse Crow and I will be with you tomorrow 8 a.m. before football talking golf right here on 1290. All right, quick timeout. We'll come back. Roxy Bernstein is coming up in about 20 minutes from now from Pac-12 Network. We'll talk about all the games of the Pac-12. That's next, right here on your home for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 1290 and our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Terry crosses middle, hand it to Matherin between the rings. Over for Creasa. Checked by Campbell. High screen from Koloko. Creasa around it, drives right. Throw it for Koloko, who slams it down for 2. Lamb set. And the pitch to Susak, driven out towards right field. That is going to get down for a base hit and go all the way to the wall. Casagrande headed for third. They're going to wave him around. He's coming home, and the Wildcats have tied it up. Susak with an RBI double to right center. And we're still playing ball. Tied at 16 in the bottom of the 10th. Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Thank you so much for tuning into our stream. We'll be back in just a bit. Until then, how about some Arizona Wildcat highlights?
4th down and less than a yard. Trojans will go for it in a tie game. Slovis out of the shotgun. Step to his left. Step to hand off. Into the backfield and drop. No gain, loss on the play. Cats take over.
That's a huge play by Arizona. Explosive play in the backfield that time.
Shot blocked by Koloko, who grabs it out of the air. Ahead to Dalen Terry, Arizona with the ball, minute 30 to go, and a 6-point lead. Juzang working right, drives to the bucket, put up, blocked by Koloko, grabbed by Larson. Arizona ball, 38 seconds left. For Bernard, goes right, blocked by Ballo, grabbed by Matherin. Arizona ball, 22 seconds left. Campbell down for the Bruins, throw it out to Riley. He'll shoot the three, blocked again by Koloko. Ballo grabs it, it's over. Championship to Tucson. Dalen Terry quickly the other way, out to Tabellas, down the lane to throw it down with the left hand. Look out. The locomotive slams it home.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rich Herrera. Show will be back in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning into our stream. Until then, how about some great moments from the University of Arizona Wildcats?
4th down and 2, Arizona. Down 14-0. Wildcats on 4th down this year are 12 of 20. Offset backfield. Plummer to throw the ball, looking, throwing towards the back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Oh, did they need that? My goodness. Booby Curry had to leap in the air to take the ball over the top of the defender, and the Cats are on the board. ASU with the ball, down by 11, so they have to go. Steal by Koloko. He's going to drive the other way and slam it home, and foul by Lawrence.
Why Lawrence contested the big man, Christian Koloko, with defensive steal and flush.
Lawrence picks up his 3rd foul. Big guys love to play point guard. Koloko looked like what, driving down that was from mid-court. 3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left. Matherin with the ball for the Wildcats. Matherin around a Koloko screen, picked up by Lampkin. Go outside for Koloko, feed it to Terry, right corner. Terry can't go baseline, circles back out top to Matherin. 10 to shoot, 16 left in the ball game. Matherin, 3 balls straight away, good!
That's a huge shot for Ben Matherin in Arizona. Timeout TCU. This ball game is knotted up.
12.6 seconds to go. Ben Matherin drains a deep 3 from straight away. He's got 24 points, and we're all even.
Hey, sports fans, this is Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for tuning into our stream. Back in just a bit. Until then, how about some highlights from the University of Arizona?
McLeod's going to line up under center. Wiley, the running back. Receiver either side. 2 tight ends. Oregon 5-man front, they shift, play fake, rolling right, McLeod looking to throw, going deep, down, trying to find Berryhill, makes the catch inside the 25-yard line, still loose inside the 15, first down Arizona.
What a play by McLeod. He was smacked, but he had the presence of mind to know where Berryhill was. He threw the ball, he underthrew the ball, and Berryhill was looking back at it and made a great play on the ball. An amazing play by Jordan McLeod.
Brown will take the snap a yard deep in the end zone, straight back to throw, has some time, steps into the pocket, the Wildcats have got him for a safety. Second safety Arizona has recorded this season. It's a 24-12 ball game, and the Cats will get the ball.
That's big
Fully
time.
on the field is a safety.
Yes. That's big time by Arizona. That time defense did a great job of just closing the pocket from the inside, and then the pressure on the outside by Abear, they just got him. They just got there. They won their blocks that time. Excellent.
They're pretty cute.
I'm not afraid to say it.
The best thing is Paige is taking a. I just sent Rich, for those who aren't here in studio with us, I just sent Rich a picture of our dogs dressed up for Halloween. I think they were pumpkins.
I didn't dress up my dogs for Halloween.
And I mean, I'm in the camp of don't dress your dog up in general. But the funny thing is, Paige has dressed them up in a Halloween costume every year for the past 11 years. So we have all the pictures of them growing up through the years. It's really cute.
Mine will wear football jerseys, or when it gets cold during the winter.
Sure.
They get like a little blanket sweater on.
Maxwell is, I've been around a lot of dogs, Rich Herrera, and Maxwell is the best dog I've ever been around. Wow. I can say that with full confidence. He's just there. If you're not familiar, Dachshunds are very like.
He could be a dog model.
Well, they're very friendly with their people and very hateful of anybody who's not their people. They have this they're really protective. So Max loves to bark at random grandmas if you take him out for a walk. But if you're, inside the circle, he's the most loving dog I've ever been around. He's just very kind, and I don't know. He's just a great, great boy. And
awesome.
Happy birthday, Maxwell.
Happy birthday, Maxwell. From all of us here at 1290. I did have something I did want to bring up for something today.
Was it football?
It is football related. So we're getting ready for the pregame show tomorrow. This is the one game this year that I don't feel good about. This is the one game, and you know what? It's probably going to be the trap game that Arizona upsets somebody that knocks these teams out of their glide path to get to the Pac-12 championship. Because coming up in a couple weeks, you'll have USC, UCLA get together. Utah and Oregon still have to get together. So right now, everybody's supposed to just kind of fall in line because you got the four best teams in the Pac-12. Then you're going to have everybody else. But it's a Pacific 12 conference. We eat each other up. We beat each other up. We keep each other from going into the college football playoff. So somebody's going to stumble because you can't just have this perfect storm of all the teams at this point of the season. Let me grab the standings real quick right here so I can explain to everybody. You can't have this perfect storm where everybody is kind of on that perfect path that you have the teams in the north, the teams in the south, although we don't have divisions anymore, so don't tell anybody, tell me that. But you've got Oregon at a perfect 5-0, USC at a 5-1, UCLA at a 4-1, Utah at a 4-1. Overall, Oregon 7-1, USC 7-1, UCLA 7-1, and the Utes are 6-2. Somebody's going to stumble somewhere down the line because it's the Pac-12. It always happens. Somebody's gonna stumble, and it's gonna be a team like I don't think Stanford can make anybody stumble. I certainly know that Colorado was incapable of that. The Arizona Wildcats of that team. If I'm Utah, UCLA, or Washington State. Washington State right now is 4-4. They're 1-4 in the Pac-12. But they're 4-4 overall for Jay Dickard's team. They still have games against Stanford, Arizona State, Arizona, and Washington. They should be able to win a couple of those games. They should be able to beat Stanford. They should be able to beat Arizona State to get bowl eligible. Because, again, what did I say? They're 4-4. They have a chance of being 6-5 and going to a bowl game. That's not out of the realm of possibility for Washington State. But for some of the other schools in this conference, I'm looking through here. I don't want to play the Arizona Wildcats because if your offense just sputters just a bit, Arizona has enough firepower, they could beat you. So if I'm Utah tomorrow, this is not a comfortable game for me. If I'm Utah tomorrow and Cam Rising isn't 100%, and I go with the backup or I've got a less than 100% Cam Rising, I know I've got to put up 45 points to beat Arizona. Here's the point. Here's what people have put up against Arizona. Mississippi State hung 39 on them. 28 by North Dakota State. Cal put up 49. Oregon put up 49. Washington put up 49. USC put up 45. You got to score in the 40s to beat the Arizona Wildcats, JW.
Well, they are currently the 20th ranked offense in America, Rich, as far as yards per game is concerned.
Yeah, so, Arizona this season has scored 38. 17 was the low. 31, 31, 43, 22, 39, and 37.
It feels like the only thing that's really stopped Arizona's offense this year is a couple of bad turnovers, right? I mean, because otherwise they've just been moving the ball.
Well, again, 2-point game against USC. When we started the season, and I'm looking at all the games that I think Arizona could win, Utah was like the least of my picks.
Well, yeah, I mean, people may not remember, but UCLA, USC, and Utah were all ranked top 12, top 15 preseason. These were all teams coming into the season that were highly regarded.
Right. So as I look at this one game, Utah is probably the most desperate because they got the 2 losses.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking through Arizona's schedule, if I'm Utah, I don't look forward to playing. Thank goodness if I'm Utah, they're at home. Because if they were coming to Tucson, I would feel a lot better if I was a Wildcat fan. UCLA at the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl is not a huge home field advantage for the Bruins.
No.
Sorry to say.
Not in about 80 years.
No. And we've got so many kids in Tucson from the Trinity League that you're going to have half of Servite High School. You're going to have Modern Day and St. John Bosco. You're going to have a bunch of kids from all over that are going to be at that game rooting for their former teammates. You're going to get a big Arizona contingent at UCLA. That's a game, if I'm Chip Kelly, I better make sure my team is ready to go and wide awake to take on Arizona. Because if I look through the UCLA Bruins, they have enough firepower. They've got a better defense. But for UCLA, they put up 45, 45, 32, 45. They put up 40, 42 on Utah. They only scored 30 against Oregon. They put up 38 against Stanford.
Rich, UCLA Bruins are averaging 7 yards a play this season.
Right. But if you look at it, if I'm UCLA, that's where you're 100% right. You get one little turnover. You get a fumble. That's all Arizona's away from winning. If the defense could force a turnover, a fumble, a pick six. Think if Arizona had a pick six against USC.
Sure.
That's the difference in the ball game. They're that close. So that's why if I'm Utah, Utah's a solid team. They're fundamental. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're playing at home. It's going to be cold and rainy, and it's going to suck in Utah tomorrow.
Yeah, bend, don't break is such a cliche. I think Arizona's defense is what it is right now at this point of the season, and you got to avoid giving up big plays, and you got to try to turn them over. And that's basically what they're looking at because Arizona's offense, as we've been talking about, is going to put points up. So against a team like Utah that's another very good offensive squad, if the defense just gets 1 or 2 third down stops and maybe 1 or possibly 2 turnovers and the offense can keep turnovers to a minimum, Arizona's offense can hang with anybody. So it's really just a matter of a couple of opportune plays, get a big sack, read the quarterback's eyes. One of those moments could be the defining factor in a win like this on the road.
Can UCLA take down both Arizona schools?
Yeah, of
They have
course.
Arizona State this weekend in Tempe. Then they have Arizona next week at the Rose Bowl. But it's going to be a great weekend of college football. Everybody and their brother is going to be watching Tennessee and Georgia, number 1 versus number 3. And then the other big game that I think is on the schedule, Alabama, who ends up 6 in the country. I think they're 8 in the BC or the college football playoff, takes on an LSU team that's jumped into the top 10.
Do you remember when the SEC was all about defense, Rich?
There's no defense anymore. So everybody that wants to get mad at Johnny Nance, sorry, there's not a lot of teams that play defense
Well, you
anymore.
just mentioned Tennessee and Georgia. That's the number 1 and number 2 ranked offenses currently in the nation right now. So, yeah.
So we'll be on the air with you tomorrow at noon, live from Casino del Sol. We've got a big pregame show planned for you. We've been working on it all week. So we want you to tune in at noon before the 4:30 kickoff. Arizona taking on Utah at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. All right, coming up, Roxy Bernstein will join us from Pac-12 Network. We'll roll through the Conference of Champions schedule. That's coming up next here on 1290.
This is the Rich Herrera Radio Show. Now streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube at Wildcats 12.